Mm. Okay, we are still on our journey and still on the platform of Y.Y.C.I International Academy, and we are presenting the transforming any relationship, marriage, and family masterclass, part 2. Because in part 1 in February, we were discussing about a lot of how what is the meaning of relationship, love, marriage, family, how it was formed, and also many issues that was around them, around this topic. So we have now started another series on how to overcome some of the issues in this personal development, relationship, in our marriage, in our family, and even in our day-to-day job. So which is very important. Y.Y.C.I International is about the time for youth leaders and others. So we transform lives, inspire them, mentor, and also empower them and educate them. And that is what we do. So let me just quickly play this video, and then we will invite our next speaker.
Relationships, they're the foundation of our lives. But let's face it, they can be tough. Conflict arises, emotions boil over, and maintaining a healthy connection becomes a challenge. But what if we told you there's a book that can change it all? Introducing Relationship Matters: How to Solve Conflict, Maintain and Keep Relationships, and Manage Emotions. This comprehensive guidebook, written by relationship experts, offers practical solutions to transform your relationships. Discover effective conflict resolution strategies that promote peaceful communication and understanding. Learn essential relationship maintenance techniques to nurture and cultivate strong connections with your loved ones. Dive into valuable emotion management strategies and regain control over your reactions. Relationship Matters has already helped countless individuals rejuvenate their relationships and find emotional well-being. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Get your copy of Relationship Matters today, available exclusively on Amazon.com. Change your relationships, change your life. Order Relationship Matters now.
Okay, and this is the link to Amazon. You can get the volume 1, 2, 3, 4, and other books written by Elizabeth Lucas Afolalu and the members of YYCI. So you can get all the books on Amazon, or you can contact us on yYCI.academic@gmail.com to avail your copies of those books. Okay, firstly, I also want to quickly remind us that tomorrow is our big event, and we are having a transformational leadership conference starting from 10 o'clock a.m. UK time. Please join us. Let us share, let us learn, and let us grow and celebrate together. It will be a moment of transformation, and we're still going to be talking on relationship. Mindset for transforming relationship. Okay, now let's welcome. First of all, let me say this. Wisdom is the principal thing. And in all our getting, we get a better understanding of life, which leads you to better and quality performance. And to fulfill your purpose in life, we always start with personal development. And that is why we are focusing on all this information so that we can get it right and get better. Self-actualization, self-assessment. You need to assess yourself, just as our previous speaker have said. And self-love. You need to love yourself, appreciate yourself, celebrate yourself, because whatever you do to yourself is what you're going to do to others. Remember, the word of God says that you love your neighbor as yourself. So love yourself, love your God, and also love others. Also, examine the situation and challenges with your critical thinking, and also find a solution with your creative thinking. And that is why I am blessed and privileged to welcome my friend from Philippines, HRH Prince Professor Dr. Mario Lucero. I'm sure you are all familiar with him during our opening and remark all the time on our conference. He's a great leader in the society. He's also the founder of Leeds Philippines. And here is with us to share with us a very important topic on forgiving for lasting relationship. Let's talk more about Professor Dr. Mario Lucero, SPBE, has the following areas of expertise: educational, leadership and management, curriculum and instruction, human resources, communication, art, ICT, research, business, education, fiscal management, strategy planning. He's a professor, he's an academician and educationist. He's also a leader in the education field. He finished his Doctor of Philosophy in Education, his undergraduate degree in education with specialization in science opened vast opportunity for him to become a professional teacher and school leader for almost 3 decades. He also finished 2 postdoctorate programs in educational leadership and management and research. He received numerous awards from various institutions and organizations locally, internationally, from more than 50 countries across the globe. He is an international world record holder of 4 international prestigious book of world record because of his poem on COVID-19 published at the Amazon Books and Journal in Asia, Europe, and America. Professor Dr. Mario Lucero is known as the global poet for humanity. He served as ambassador of many organizations in more than 50 countries, country heads of many institutions and organizations, and director of organizations in Asia and Southeast Asian countries. He holds 50 honorary doctorates from different colleges and universities abroad, and more than 100 honorary doctorates from different international recognized organizations. He has written many researches and published in referred journals. He is also a writer and author. He had taught in the College of Education, graduate school at the University of Philippines, Delma, and became a dean of the College of San Benito Reza. Finally, he was named as the King of Education by Macedonia Association and Yes You Can International United Kingdom. He is happily married with children and grandchildren, and is also our advisory board member and also the Yes You Can International patron. So give me the good permission for me to welcome Dr. Professor Prince Mario Lucero to share with us his wealth
Okay,
of
thank you so much. Thank you
knowledge.
so much, Dr. Queen Elizabeth, for that generous introduction. Okay. And I'd like to greet each one. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all the dignitaries across the globe. So my topic this afternoon is about forgiving for a lasting relationship. And it's quite a difficult topic. Okay, it's easy to say, but it's difficult to act it out. Why? Because there are things involved. Okay, it's the action that's involved and the person who have committed the action. So, are we forgiving the person, or are we forgiving the committed mistakes or something that had caused problems to each and every one? Okay, so forgiveness is often considered as cornerstone for building and maintaining lasting relationship. It's a cornerstone for building lasting relationship. In any long-term relationship, whether it's romantic, familiar, or friendly, conflicts and disagreements are inevitable. So in the family, there are conflicts, there are disagreements. In organization, there are also conflicts and there are also disagreements. In a romantic relationship, there are disagreements and there are also conflicts. So resentment can build trust and can be broken, and communication to break down. However, it is through the power of forgiveness that relationships can weather these storms and emerge stronger on the other side. So, if these things happen, then the act of forgiving is essential so that the relationship will be, of course, will run smooth again. So at its core, forgiveness is a conscious decision to let go of feelings of anger, to the feelings of anger, the feelings of resentment, and the desire for revenge towards someone who has wronged us. So when we are hurt, that there's a tendency for us to what? To revenge to other people. Now, we're punishing ourselves because we don't have that particular behavior of forgiving. So while we don't forgive other people, we are now disconnecting ourselves from that particular person who have wronged us. So it is a choice to release the negative emotions that can poison a relationship and instead choose understanding, empathy, and compassion. So we have options, whether we understand, whether there is empathy, whether there is compassion, or we choose to have the negative feelings towards the action committed by the person. So by offering forgiveness, we're not excusing the hurtful actions. So we don't try to look into the hurtful actions. Rather, okay, we choose to move forward without carrying the heavy burden of grudges. So sometimes you cannot just probably forgive an act by not forgiving also the person. So these are the two important things. Are you forgiving the action committed by the person, or you're forgiving the person because of the action done? So these are two different things. Okay. Forgiveness in a relationship is a two-way process. It's a two-way street. It requires both parties to be willing to acknowledge their mistakes. Yes. So it takes two to tango. Okay. So it's something that is being felt by two people, okay, groups of people, and that both parties should acknowledge their mistakes and take responsibilities for their actions and seek reconciliation. So when we now commit mistake, we acknowledge our mistake and we forgive that person, or we forgive that particular wrongdoings, then we seek for reconciliation. Then when we reconcile, it has to be something like pure reconciliation. So it's not something that is faked. Okay? Then therefore, Okay, it involves open and honest communication and a willingness to listen and understand each other's perspectives. So we try to listen and understand why a person commits that particular action. But if we're not ready to listen, then therefore we are not ready to forgive, because that is essential. Understanding and looking into different perspective are key elements of forgiveness and commitment to making amends and rebuilding trust again. So there are sometimes that people would not be able to trust the person anymore. Why? Because of the actions committed. So if you're honest and then be pure with your intention that you have accepted, or probably you have apologized for the wrongdoing that you have done and made commitments that you will not do again, then trust can be built again. So just like a mirror, if it's broken, then it's difficult to fix the mirror. Therefore, the elements of trust, communication, and also understanding and listening are present in forgiveness. When we hold on to grudges and refuse to forgive, so when we don't forgive other people, it creates a toxic environment in a relationship. So, for example, in the family, when you see that person every day, then it creates toxic environment. If you are in your workplace, then it affects your your work. Okay, and if it's something that you have done to the members of the family, then it affects relationship. Resentment festers, communication breaks down, and the emotional distance between partners grows. So there would be distance. When you will not fix the problem, then you will be building some walls, bridges, and gaps, and there would be distance between the person. Okay. So on the other hand, when we practice, when we practice forgiveness, we create a space of healing, understanding, and growth. So there would be healing, understanding, and growth. So when you forgive other people, then it would mean that you're no longer punishing yourself for the acts being committed. Okay. So there is healing, there is understanding, and there's growth. It allows us to move past conflicts, learn from our mistakes, and deepen our connection with the other person. Sometimes there's this thing that will happen. You fight with one another, and that would be essential in deepening relationship, because the more that you would understand the person, the behavior of the person. But of course, we need to understand also that there should be no repetitions of many wrong actions committed. So forgiveness is always not easy. It's difficult to do. It requires, number one, humility. When you forgive, then you become humble. It requires also patience and willingness to let go of your ego. So you have swallowed your ego. Okay? It may take time and effort to work through hurt and pain, but the rewards of forgiveness in relationship are immeasurable. It can lead to greater emotional intimacy, increased trust, and stronger bond between partners. So in conclusion, forgiveness indeed is the key for a lasting relationship. It is a powerful tool that allows us to repair the damage caused by conflicts, misunderstandings, and hurtful actions. By choosing forgiveness, we pave the way for healing, for growth, and a deeper connection with our loved ones. As the saying goes, to err is human, to forgive is divine. And in the context of relationship, forgiveness is an essential ingredient for building a strong, enduring bond. So that would be all. Thank you so much. And I hope I was able to express myself on the topic forgiveness as a key for a lasting relationship. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your valuable information on forgiveness, because forgiveness is really very, very vital in our relationship. And you've already shared with us on when you forgive, you heal yourself, you free yourself, you deliver yourself, you
Yes.
set yourself free. You also talk about when you forgive, you gain better understanding, because through that, you will assess the situation. You will admit it that no one is perfect. You will admit it that we all can make mistakes and we can learn from that mistakes. So you gain better understanding. When you also forgive, you regain the trust that has been broken. Yes, it could take a long while, but you can still regain it back. And when you forgive as well, you are showing the sign of humility, because you are humbling yourself to accept it and also to get rid of the egoism. When you also forgive, you also have patience. Patient to want to understand, patient to want to know, patient for one another, because it's very, very important. So on this note, I want to say thank you so much, His Excellency, Dr. Mario C. Lucero from Philippines. But before you go, let me express my gratitude to all our great leaders that has joined us on Zoom link and on Zoom platform and Facebook Live. We really appreciate you and those that have really connected on both sides. But before we move on, I just want to quickly express my gratitude to all our leaders as well, and also to open door for them to ask questions. So I will go by Dr. Samina. Do you have any questions for our Professor Lucero? Dr. Samina, questions? Okay. Dr. Stephen, do you have any questions? I guess the answer is no. Dr. Samina?
It's a two-way process.
Okay.
But if we are forgiving and the other is not forgiving,
Yeah.
he is rigid, then what happened?
Hey, good question. I hope you get the question, Dr. Professor Mario. We can't
Yeah,
hear
will you
you.
please repeat the question, please? What is the question?
The question, okay,
If
doctor.
we are forgiving others, but the second person is not forgiving, he is rigid, he is very angry, then what happened?
What
Yeah,
can
okay.
we do?
Sometimes, yeah, I agree with you. You already had forgiven the person, but he's
Yeah.
still angry. Then what you can do is to distance yourself for a while. Okay, give space,
Okay.
give enough time for healing, because there are times if the action that has been committed is severe, it's a major offense, then it's difficult to forgive. So for example, somebody had killed your loved one, so it's not easy to forgive because there are laws that govern that. So but again, according to God, it said forgive 7 to 100 times, but it's difficult. Okay, so if that person is still angry, then allow the process of healing. Time and space would help us forget. And if you cannot forgive at the moment, then probably allow months or days to do it. But at least at your end, you already had forgiven something, because that's already withdrawing from the pain, from hurtful feelings, and from the burden that you're carrying every day. Thank you so much,
Thank
Dr.
you.
Samina, for the beautiful
Yes.
question. It's
Thank you
difficult.
so much. I hope you are satisfied with the answer, Dr. Samina.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Dr.
Thank you so much.
Stephen, thank you so much, ma'am. Dr. Stephen, do you have any questions for our presenter? Okay. Ambassador Dr. Anogu Austin, do you have any questions, sir?
Yeah, because I know Mario is a professor and is a professional on this very ground. And this is a question that have been lingering even in churches and many places. And people are preaching forgive and forget. Is it possible to forget that you will not make reference because of other occurrences? Is it possible that somebody will forgive even when forgiven? Is it possible to forget? That's my question.
Yeah, that's also a very difficult question, Ambassador Dr. Anagu, no? Because sometimes it's culture-based. For example, the African, okay, I don't know the culture, how easy for you to forgive. Like, for example, the Eastern people, Asian like us, it's also difficult to forgive and forget, okay? But it depends on sometimes your faith, your orientation, your education that would help you decide whether you forget and you forgive easily. So I also think that it depends on the person, okay? So we have laws also that govern wrongdoings, but for personal uh, relationship, for philia, family relationship, for romantic relationship, I think it's easy to do that. Okay, you forget it and move on. Okay, but if it costs already and it breaks the law, it's difficult to forget.
Okay. Okay. Mm.
Thank you, and I
Awesome.
hope to see you also soon here in the Philippines, Dr. Anagu.
He will
You
definitely
did
go
not tell
back.
me that you visited the Philippines. I
Yes.
should have toured you around the beautiful places in our country.
Mm.
Don't worry, I will come again. Don't worry, you will see me.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I
Thank you,
know
sir.
you love Princess Palabra.
Yeah.
Yes, I went many places, Matangas and
Thank
the
you.
rest of them, and many places I went. So
Okay.
I don't worry, I will come.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for answering those questions. We really appreciate that, Prof. Thank you so much for your time, your presence, and your presentation. We really appreciate. Yeah. And I want to seize this opportunity to also express my gratitude to Prof. Dr. Saprata, because he will be the next speaker and probably the last speaker for the morning section, as we all going to be moving on and also prepare ourselves for the great event coming up tomorrow. So thank you so much for joining us today, Dr. Masirio and Lucero, and we hope to see you tomorrow to do your normal duty of opening for your opening speech for our conference tomorrow. So thank you so much for joining us today, for teaching